Hey guys, and welcome back to our day 14. Today is our second day of waves, but before we go on, I just want to kind of go over a couple things for class. So, number one, a lot of you guys have already answered my exit ticket questions, of which what kind of wave do you want to learn about? So, I'll just let you know the overwhelming response is that we're all kind of interested in radio waves, which I thought was interesting, and also sound waves. So, I'm going to be looking for projects for next week that are kind of more applied and let you sort of learn about how those things work, how they affect things in your everyday life. And then I also had this question about how sort of the workload was going. This is kind of based more upon what a lot of my students in physics have been telling me, based upon like our Google Meet sessions together, and also some like feedback here. And while a lot of you did put that they were the right length and level for them to complete and still learn, a lot more people actually, this one was our overwhelming response, which is that maybe these assignments are okay, but in combination with all of your other classes, can be a little much. And I just want to kind of talk about that a little bit. So, as your teacher, just for science, then I'm kind of going into that the only thing I can really affect in your lives right now, unfortunately, is science class, right? Like, I can't make anything else about this easier in terms of quarantine, but I can hopefully make learning science a little bit easier, a little bit more fun. So, online learning is really hard, right? Like it kind of sucks. It's not that great for me, to be honest. I miss you guys. I miss talking to you and hearing your thoughts and getting to do all the fun labs that we would have done. And yeah, it's especially hard for you guys though. And I feel like maybe you're not getting a whole lot of props for that. So, number one, short personal story. If you're not interested, you can probably skip ahead like a minute, okay? But whenever I was in college, my very first time, I took an online class because I went to a really small high school. We didn't offer online classes. So the first time that I took one, I was in college. I thought, okay, cool. I am going to do all of my stuff in one day and get it all done for a week, and then I will be fine. But the thing about online classes is that you don't have a structure, right? Like you don't have set times to do stuff. You don't have a teacher there to quickly clarify. So I remember being in organic chemistry and spending like a full hour or 2 hours just on one problem that I couldn't figure out. And then it turned out to be a really simple thing. But it wasn't that I was just couldn't figure out that problem. It was that I didn't have that atmosphere of listening to other people sort of talk about what they were thinking, what their process was, getting feedback from a teacher. So just know this, online school is hard for everybody. There's a reason we haven't just switched over to the internet for everything, and that you need some human contact to learn things. Even things that sometimes people might find not that hard, because doing anything the first time isn't your best, right? Nobody is just like automatically 100% the first time. You work to get better. So we're going to continue to work to get better. But the moral of the story is that I get that this is hard and that there's not a ton I can do about the other situations in your life. So we're just going to focus on kind of easing back a little bit on assignments and trying to make sure that you're getting just the basics that you need for chemistry, for physics, and also that hopefully you get to have some fun with it. So I'll try to find some fun ones. And with that, let's go ahead and go into our assignment. So I'm going to walk you guys through some examples today. All right, so today it's kind of like a game. It's called these concept builders on physics classrooms. They're usually pretty fun. This one is all about waves. And all right, let's hide this real quick. So I'm going to do a couple examples for you. I don't really want to type in Martin, so I'm just going to be just M. That's fine. Okay, so here's the deal. There's 12 problems total. For each one, we're going to try to analyze the different wave patterns that are happening. I'm going to work one problem for you, okay, of each different type. So really, you only have to do 9 problems, right? And then after that, And then after that, I just want you guys to upload a screenshot to Google Classroom showing that you have like 3 trophies. So what'll happen is as you complete 4 problems in each category, it tells you, hey, great job. And it gives you a golden trophy here with your name at the bottom. Like your name to be something I can recognize, please, preferably. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through these. I will show you how to do each type. All right, so on this problem, we're just going to count the number of crests and the number of troughs. So quick reminder, a crest is the topmost part of I was kind of hoping my little thing would pop up here. Sorry. A crest is the topmost part of a wave. So every time you see a big hill here, that's a crest. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I go down here and I click it, and I click it until it gets to 6, and boom, I say that it has 6 crests. Now, a trough is how many bottommost parts. So what's the lowest part of this wave? It's right here. I'm going to say it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to say it has 6 crests and has 6 troughs. And once I get both entered in, I can check my answer. For some reason, it thinks it's being clever. And anytime you get it right, it says data away, like that away, but data. It's what it is. So let's continue on. Quick reminder, this is a wave you haven't seen before. This is I'll just go through this one too. This is a longitudinal wave. So this is actually what sound waves look like. So rarefactions are just parts of this wave, what looks like a giant slinky, that are close together. That are spread apart. Compressions are where they are close together, where they are compressed. So if I were to go through and count the compressions, I would say there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I were to count the rarefactions, which is where they're more spread apart, I would say there's 1 here, kind of here in the middle. So every time that I see that they're just slightly more spread apart, then I click at the top and I get an R. You can also click, you can also click here at the bottom. So check answer. Yay, I did it. Okay, so we're going to get out of that one. Oh, that's right, it does this, it's dumb. Alrighty, let's go to view directions. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I had to pause this for just a second. So for some reason, it was not letting me go back to the home screen, which means that I'm going to just work through a problem, pause it, finish that level off, and go back, I guess. So counting waves. All right, this is our level 2. So the number of waves is equal to 1 hill and 1 downhill. So 1 complete wave would be this. There's a top, and then here's a bottom. So there's 1. All right, top and a bottom, there's 2. Top and a bottom, there's 3. Top and a bottom, there's 4. Another one, there's 5 and 6. So I'm up to 6 waves. Notice that you can do half waves. So a half wave would be if I had 1 more top, right? And it would just be half of a wave. Alrighty. And is it really, 2 main menu. Wow, that totally figures. Okay. Yes, I would like to return to the main menu. Thank you. All right, so notice though how I finished this level and now the trophy is filled out and it just says completed. That is the screenshot of 3 of these that I'd like you to submit. Now determining the waves. So this one does involve a little bit of math, but I promise it's pretty simple, okay? If you don't get this one, you can always try again. So also, this is unfortunately not a calculator, though it should be. I agree. So let's look at this. In this problem, we are going to, they give you a lot of information, but basically this length right here is 2.4 meters, right? This whole thing is 2.4 meters, okay? And they want to know the overall wave length. So the wavelength is just the distance from one wave to the top of another. So in order to do any of these problems, because they're all the same, what you need to do is you need to figure out A, how many waves are there? And then you just take the length, you divide by the number of waves. So 2.4 meters, and how many waves? There is 1.5. All right. So I'm gonna get my handy dandy phone calculator because I don't want to go find my actual one, and type in 2.4 divided by 1.5. See? Oh, wait. Too many screens. There it goes. And you can see there it is 1.6. So you can type it on your screen, or they also have this for you here. So 1.6 meters. So I'm saying that the distance from this hill to this hill is 1.6. And I have answered correctly. Waha. All right. So do that one 3 times. Note, if you answer a number wrong, I don't know, let's just say 500. It's not 500, in case you're wondering. Oh no, so it lets you try again. You can also go back to this menu, to main menu, and sometimes it'll shuffle up the problems for you. So if you get stuck on one, then go ahead. If you have a question, by the way, you can always just comment actually on the assignment if you'd like some privacy, or comment on your section of the assignment, I mean. Or you can email me, or you can check in for our Google Meet Hangout. Last but not least, as far as the rubric goes, so this one is for our unassisted grade per week. If you have all stars, then you just get a 10, and hey, consider it a fun grade boost. But know this, if say you try and it's just not your day, it's just not going well for you, you only get like 1 out of 3 stars. That is okay, because the cool thing about everything that's not a quiz is that you can resubmit assignments, especially after you get help on them. All right, so things can only go up from here, which is nice. And with that, I'm gonna let you guys get to it. Have a great night.